This is book 3 in the Passport to Romance trilogy. If you start with this book, you'll probably be confused by Nancy's new Australian boyfriend. Mick is not introduced well. New readers will have no idea who he is or what he's doing here.
Argofont Book Review, Argofont Book Review.
The girls waste no time in meeting hot guys. Theo's a shady guy who loves his boat. Dimitri is a flirty man who takes photos of tourists. He says he has a fancy photography studio in the attic of Spyros' shop. Someone breaks into Nancy's hotel room. They find Nikki the maid going through Bess's stuff. She apologizes, but it's clear she's searching everything. The next time they return to the hotel, someone broke into the safe. They stole 3 passports, including Bess's. Oh no! Nancy makes the decision not to mention Nikki the maid to the hotel staff. She makes the same decision later when she sees Nikki giving a package to Dimitri. Nancy, since when do you care about avoiding false accusations? You say you don't want to get her in trouble, but that's a level of concern you don't normally show for strangers. Mick invites Nancy to come with him to Australia, an offer she finds mighty tempting. She wonders if Dimitri's forging passports in his photography studio. She breaks into the studio and confirms, yeah, he's totally got the stuff to make fake passports. He also has pictures of Nikki, so maybe she is his client? George's boyfriend, Kevin Davis, appears. Wow, I didn't expect to see him again in this series. I thought he would be one of her boyfriends who magically disappears without an explanation. George and Kevin dated in books 69 and 70. There was drama because his job as a sportscaster takes up most of his time. George's job... Wait, does George even have a job? Where did she get the money to pay for this European vacation? Bess buys a windmill from Spyros' shop. Dimitri covers it in wrapping paper. Nancy fails to notice it's blue passport paper. Oh, Nancy, detective fail. They go back to the hotel where Nikki is dressed in Bess's clothing. Nikki confesses she wants to be a model, so she did a secret photo shoot with Dimitri. She also rooted through Bess's things in search of American fashion magazines. Okay, what about the stolen clothes that you are wearing, Nikki? She claims she was just trying them on. Yeah, I don't believe that. The group visits an island called Dragonese, which has a complex cave system. Nancy and Mick explore. They find a bunch of camping gear and explosives. The camping culprits appear and chase them away. It's later revealed they're fugitive terrorists hiding out from the police. They need fake passports to leave the country. Nancy breaks into Theo's boat. She learns he visits the culprits' island almost every day. Maybe he's delivering supplies to them. Not to mention, they have his seat cushions. They might be terrorists, but they like having comfy cushions. Nancy and Mick go on a romantic walk, and he proposes marriage. She isn't sure how she can leave everything behind and move to Australia. Mick agrees to give her time to think about it. Nancy has a moped chase with one of the culprits, and she confronts Dimitri. He confesses that the photography studio belongs to Spyros, not him. That's why he was so protective about it. He was lying to impress Bess. Nancy and Mick go snorkeling. The culprit tries to kill them with an underwater spear. They confront Theo, but he's innocent. It turns out he's visiting the culprit's island because he's getting snorkeling lessons from a cute girl. Now Nancy recognizes the wrapping paper as passport paper. A stakeout reveals Spyros is the one who is making fake passports for the culprits. Nancy steals the passports. The culprits respond by taking George and Kevin as hostages. They give Nancy 3 hours to hand over the passports. Interpol promises to handle the hostage exchange, but Nancy's too nervous to wait for them. She comes up with a not-so-good plan. She shoots flares into the cave with a flare gun. The hope is that the culprits will be distracted, maybe go outside. They do go outside with a machine gun, and they open fire on Nancy. Luckily, the police show up in time to save her butt. And while all this is going on, Mick and Theo scuba dive through an underwater entrance to the cave system, and they save the hostages. George and Kevin officially break up. It's not because of the whole terrorists holding them hostage thing. It's because his work will keep him in Europe for a while, and George doesn't want a long-distance relationship. She needs more freedom than that. This inspires Nancy to break up with Mick. She says she can't leave behind all the people she loves. She needs independence, not the stifling commitment of marriage. It's a giant step she's not willing to take. The end. Post-book follow-up. I am married. I don't like books like this, where marriage is portrayed as a terrible punishment that ruins your freedom. Does Nancy feel the same way about working? Is that why she doesn't have a real job? She thinks it limits her freedom to run all over the world and have adventures. I think Nancy needs a reality check because marriage isn't like that. And besides, Ned is her detective partner for most of her cases. It's hard to imagine that if they got married, he would insist on her giving up all detective work ever. Ned wouldn't do that. I wonder what Nancy's going to tell Ned when she gets back home. Will she talk about the hot Australian guy she almost married? Will she admit she made out with another guy multiple times? Or will she lie to Ned and pretend nothing happened? It's going to be weird to see Nancy and Ned act like a normal couple after this, knowing she cheated on him so much. I like the first third of the book, where Dimitri and Nikki are set up as fake-out culprits. I knew they were innocent because there is still 100 pages left to go in the book, but it was nicely done. I actually believe they were guilty. The terrorists don't appear until after Nikki's story is resolved, so it's almost like it's a standalone story. Overall, I think this is the second best book of the trilogy, even though I will give it the same score as book number 72. Nancy going after terrorists made for an exciting ending. As I said, I really liked the first third of the book. As for the love drama, it's just okay. The series could have done a lot more with Mick as a legitimate love interest for Nancy. Now that the trilogy's over, I suspect Mick will be just as forgettable as Nancy's summer boyfriend from the previous love trilogy. I give Nancy Drew Files number 74, Greek Odyssey, an 8 out of 10.